A drag queen just topped the Christian charts, but I have mixed feelings about it. This is Hot Takes.
I don't like Chick-fil-A.
Taylor Swift is overrated.
If you drive a pickup truck for reasons that are other than employment related, I don't like you.
Listen to your friends who care about astrology.
Escape rooms are fun.
What is your hot take?
Drop a hot take.
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 Welcome back to Hot Takes. I'm your host, Ian Isaiah. Today we have a story that probably most of you don't care about, and if you're watching this and you're like, oh, this is a stupid story, that's fine. It won't offend me if you click off now. But for those of you who care, a drag queen just topped the Christian music charts on iTunes. Here's an article from Paste. At first, I thought, oh, great, this is a great thing. I love this. This is great. The drag queen herself left a post about this on Instagram. This drag queen's name is Flamy Grant.
No, God! No, God, please, no!
She said, I sure am having a lot of dreams come true lately. I've been cheekily thanking that failed congressional candidate, living for that expertly sprinkled dusting of shade in this article, by the way, for making all of this happen. But doing so pulls the force from who really did this, a community of people who wholeheartedly and full-throatedly reject the notion that Christian faith has to look like the fearful, petty, weak evangelicalism that demonizes so many people and dominates too much of life in the U.S. And she wrote a couple other paragraphs, but I think that first one is a key highlighter. And yes, if we're going solely based off of that, I agree with her, and that is a great take to have. I think that anybody can get into any sort of music and should be okay with that. Anybody should be able to get into any sort of anything. And I know that's very general, but I genuinely mean that. Anybody should be able to get into anything. However, upon further research, there were two posts that really stood out to me as, well, let's just say they irked me just a little bit. Now, if you guys want to check out her page is Flamy Grant on Instagram, just the two words. I would encourage you to go check her out. Please be respectful, like I'm sure you always are, but this is the first one that I saw. This is a poster for a comedy show in Nashville, Godless Sheathen, a comedy cabaret about a sinner saved by lace.
And
Had such an amazing weekend in Nashville and already looking forward to when I'm back in September for Godless Sheathen at the Lipstick Lounge. Right now, you can save $5 on your ticket with the promo code GODLESS. Oh boy. Let's do it again, Music City. Okay, so let's break this down. This is a drag queen who topped the Christian music charts, right? And now she's promoting a comedy show called Godless Sheathen. Not sure how I feel about that. So the other post that I was going to show you, I believe has since been deleted. I've spent the last 10 minutes trying to find it. If I find it, I will put it in the video, link it in the video real quick. But basically, somebody had said, like, just realize that you're not a woman. And the drag queen was kind of avoiding the question. And so that is one spot where I am like, no, this guy has to realize, because it is a guy, drag is a character. Now, I have no problems with you if you want to do drag as a character, okay? I do not have an issue with drag. I do not care if you want to dress up as a woman. That is completely fine to me. Heck, I've even thought of doing drag before. But don't confuse yourself for a woman. You are still a biological man at the end of the day. That is the important thing that needs to be said. Now, as I said, I have some mixed feelings about this. I do have some positive feelings too. I mean, let's just take a look at this video.
I am Flamy Grant. That's me. I am the shame-slaying, hip-swaying, singing-songwriting drag queen who spent 22 years as a worship leader before I started doing drag, and today, Sean Foyt tried to drag me on Twitter. If you don't know, Sean is a MAGA-loving worship leader who was holding these massive unmasked worship services at the height of pandemic when, you know, the rest of us were trying to love our neighbor by not spreading a contagion that was killing thousands of people.
I'm
Sean
not
is
going to
like
get
the
into
Weird
that.
Al
It's over
Yankovic
with.
of Christian music. I'm sorry. That was not very fair. Weird Al is such a nice dude, and he has brought so much joy to so many lives. He does not deserve to be compared to Sean Foyt. Anyway, today Sean tweeted about a music collaboration I have with my good friend Derek Webb, who is an incredible musician in the contemporary Christian music world. He said, if you're wondering what the end goal of the deconstruction movement is in the church, then look no further than former worship leader Derek Webb's new collab with a drag queen. These are truly the last days. Side note, Derek was never a worship leader. I was, though. Of course, I am a drag queen, so I'm not going to just roll over when someone comes for me on Twitter, right? So I said, end goal, baby, we're just getting started. To which Sean replied, well, good for us. Hardly anyone listens or cares what you do. Hurtful. To be fair, all of this happened on Twitter, which is my least favorite social media network. I don't put a lot of effort into it, so I've only got 600 followers over there. But Sean does not know about the 77,000 of you who follow me here on TikTok, which got me thinking, what if more people did know that there was a worship song written by a drag queen? It's Good Day on my album last year, and it does not have as many streams as a lot of my other music, and that's on me because I made it the last song on the record. But here's the thing, I love this song, I believe in this song, I wrote it for my super awesome, inclusive, progressive, affirming church, and we have sung it on many a Sunday morning. I even got my aforementioned friend Derek Webb to sing on the track with me, and y'all, it is a banger. It's an uplifting anthem for anyone who's felt excluded by the church, especially queer people, because those are my folks, but anyone who's felt like there just wasn't a place for them to worship at church. I put it last because I wanted people to feel empowered when they finished listening to my record, and I still want that. So all of this has got me thinking, what if we could get a worship song written by a drag queen to chart on the Christian charts on iTunes? I know that sounds wild, but I was inspired by my friend Semler, who is an out Christian artist, and their song Faith just went to #1 on the iTunes Christian charts earlier this year. They did it with a very enthusiastic fan base, which admittedly is like 3 times as big as mine, but that's all right. I'm not trying to get to #1. I just want to crack the charts. I just want to see a drag queen on the Christian charts on iTunes. So that's why I'm here. I am here to ask you to go find my album, Bible Belt Baby by Flamy Grant, and go stream track number 10, Good Day. You can find that album really easily by going to my profile, and you know what to do from there. Stream it, add it to a TikTok video. It's in the database here. Add it to videos you make on other social media platforms. If you've got 99 cents to throw at it so you can download it digitally, do that. Look, I know it is a long shot, but I personally am tired of Christian music being dominated by guys like Sean Foyt. I think it's time for girls like us to have a shot at cracking the charts so that people who love Christian music but don't want to be in bed with MAGA have an option. And yes, I would like to show Sean that the people he thinks are hardly anyone are actually a pretty powerful group.
I mean, yeah, I don't have a problem with that. The debate on Twitter was a little meh, but at the same time, Flamy Grant has some really awesome other ones. If you see, she has posted a lot of very good religious debates as well. Here's one that's this person, that's what mental illness looks like. She said, then mental illness is gorgeous. Your families must be ashamed of you. The ugly ones are. I mean, you know, this is the one that really stood out to me as like, okay, maybe it's not so bad. This person said, there is no God, even if a drag queen sings about a non-existent so-called deity. Flamy Grant wrote back, this is a fun opinion. I wonder if there are any podcasts where men can talk about it. Once again, if you are doing this understanding that you are still a biological man and this is a character or just a stage prop, I don't care. I think that is fine. I see no fault with it. But if you think you can identify as a woman, that's where I draw the line and say, no, this is not built in truth. This is not built in love. This is not built in the truth of God. Now, I totally agree that I think that people who are queer need to get into the Christian music industry if they truly believe that God has saved them. I genuinely believe that. But you have to be very careful and tread very lightly because of how sensitive and how controversial that topic can be within the Christian community. Here's one more video that I just wanted to show you because I think it's so awesome.
I was a Bible Belt baby.
I'm talking evangelical, be at church anytime the doors are open, Christian school, Christian music. Even our movies came with all the provocative bits edited out by some intern in Dr. James Dobson's office.
Yep.
We had the portrait of white Jesus on the wall next to the Thomas Kincaid and the cross-stitch quote from the book of Joshua that said, "As for me and my house, we will serve the Lord." And serve him I did. I did everything I was supposed to do, and more importantly, I avoided everything I wasn't. And darling, I was miserable. You see, it was cute the first time I stepped out in my mom's heels as a kid. They laughed, I hammed it up, they made me pose for a photo. But the second that behavior started to become a pattern, you better believe I got told exactly how a boy should act. I spent 35 years avoiding the impulse to paint my face, but nobody can tell me it wasn't worth the wait. Baby, it might take you half a lifetime or more, but when you finally realize that the deepest truth of the divine is that you are meant to be happy in the here and now, well, I can't wait to see what you make of your second act.
Okay, so that last bit, in my belief and what I understand of Christianity, my worldview, I don't necessarily agree with that last bit, because Jesus has promised that the Christian walk would not be easy. And so living your best life in the here and now, although you may want to do that, I don't necessarily believe that that is true. However, I agree with everything else she said. I think she put it perfectly. It has come to a certain point where I think we need to start breaking down what is religious tradition and what is actually something that God has spoken and what we should follow as Christians. So, Flamy Grant, I'm with you. There are some things that I don't quite agree with, but you know what? Go ahead and shake up. Thank you for watching this episode of Hot Takes. If you enjoyed this video, which I hope you did, please make sure to hit that like button and subscribe. It really helps me out, and it makes sure you never miss a future episode. Thanks, guys.